Give me 1 second, folks. Welcome, everyone. So, okay. Well, yeah, there's already too many people in here. But I'm glad everyone's here. Sorry I don't get to call everybody out and say hello, give shout outs, but shout out to everybody. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. We're gonna have some fun tonight, guys. Hold on, give me a second because I'm still not over it. All right, hold on. Okay, here we go. Anyway, so Katie Joy went live earlier today, and we're gonna watch it. So I'm just gonna comment on it as it goes, and I love saying this, and I want to give Katie Joy some time to delete it because I downloaded it. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna have some fun, guys. Danielle Eagle Smith, wow, already with the super chat. Thank you so much. Appreciate that with the super sticker. We're anyway, so sorry, I gotta be checking my phone here and there too, because stuff comes, it just keeps coming. So last night I went over a lot of things. Before I get started on that, I want to talk about how I went over a lot of things, and it's funny because like I'm fairly new to Rakita Law. I've heard of Rakita Law, and I just subscribed to him, and it was really, really refreshing to hear someone as intelligent as he is, and as and him being a lawyer, and basically saying everything that I was saying last night. He was basically saying the same thing, but from an experienced legal standpoint. And so it was really refreshing to hear that. I mean, not every single little thing, but we're basically on the same page. And I like that he doesn't hold back. I like that he's and it's so funny. So many of my subs are like, well, you're going to love this guy. If you of all people, if you watch this guy, you're going to love him. And I was active in his chat, whatever, but I mean, he had a lot of people in his chat. And he was really, really, really like on point with everything. And he went over the writ of mandamus. And what I love about it is that he was doing it mostly to obviously educate. Yvette Mills, thank you so much. Grab your popcorn and drink. So yeah, get comfortable. This is gonna be a long one, guys. So thank you, Yvette Mills, by the way. Danielle Sky Eagle Smith, thank you again. So glad I caught a live, actually. I usually have to catch the replay. I'm glad you're here. I'm really glad you're here. Thank you so much. So I I was watching his stream last night and I was loving it. And he went over the writ of mandamus, and it was really refreshing to hear a guy basically confirm from a legal standpoint everything that I suspected, everything that I suspected, everything that I talked about last night as far as what the motive behind all of this was. This guy was right on top of it. And I don't think he knows who the hell I am. So it wasn't like he watched my live and was like, oh, especially the fact that he's an educated, experienced attorney. Now, I don't know if he's an experienced family law attorney, but I do know that he was very well versed in family law. So that's good enough for me, and him having legal experience, even that much better. This is a big publicity thing. I mean, I'm not saying that Sophie isn't missing. I'm not saying that people don't know where she is, or that people are faking that they don't know where she is. That's not what I'm saying at all. Not even in the slightest bit. Kit Kat Mama, in honor of those cyber bullied, send some love, Glare. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I want to be clear. Now, one thing that Katie Joy is going to do tonight, she's going to play the victim. She's already doing it. She's already doing it from what I understand in the Facebook groups, and it's not going well for her. And I'm going to explain what brought this on. Anyway, I went ahead and I was like, oh man, she flip-flopped like crazy. I mean, this is the flip-flop of all flip-flops in all of my time on YouTube. In the 3 years that I've been on YouTube, in the 3 years that I've been on YouTube, I've never seen a flip-flop like this, of this magnitude. I mean, this was a flip belly flop. I mean, you know, have you seen somebody do a belly flop and they hit the water like, you know what I'm talking about? Like and you can't help but go, oh, 10. That's totally what Katie Joy did today. And it's we're gonna get deep into it, dude. We're gonna get deep into it. Let's just go ahead and do it now. But she does settle down. Okay, she does. Katie Joy said 834 times that she talked to Courtney. Are you keeping a tally? I hope you are. She gets off on having a source. Her and KL are birds of a feather. I'm not going to say. I don't know. The thing is Kelly Long has maintained quiet. Okay, she's maintained quiet, and again, I don't want to hear no BS about no gag order. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. But I'm going to get into that because old Katie, she went over all this stuff, and we're going to go over it together, y'all. All right.
Welcome, everyone, and welcome to my channel. It is Friday, July 23rd. I hope you are having a good day. I'm sorry. I have been trying to get this video saved or it's shared in a Facebook
you shared it.
Or in a Facebook group that covers this case. And
I'm sharing it.
For some reason, I don't know if the admins are just not seeing it, but it hasn't been approved yet. And I was trying to get it out there so the people that are in the group that follow this would be able to know that I was live.
Rochelle Mitchell.
This specific topic isn't a humongous draw for my channel subscribers.
Yo,
so I wanted to give
that's what I'm saying,
opportunity
Phoebes.
to them, but
Hence the title.
they still haven't shared it. So I figured that we needed to talk about some updates about Sophie Long.
She's not,
and
she's
clear
failing.
up some of the misinformation that is going
She's
on
failing
around the case. So I hope you guys are having a really great afternoon.
I mean, is she trying to seduce the chat? Is that what's
Friday,
going on?
July 23rd.
Is she going to get on that couch? Is it going to start spinning like
so
Austin
it's been
Powers?
16 days since Sophie has been missing, and the mainstream media is starting to pick the story up a lot more. We're seeing articles with the Daily Mail, with the Daily Beast, with the Sun, the Heavy, a lot of Fox News. There's a lot of places right now that are covering the story. And as more and more momentum is surging,
but one thing I'm going to point out, guys,
becoming more.
One thing I'm going to point out, guys, is if you notice, if you look at all these articles, almost all of them, they're practically, if not exactly, copy and pasted. Not the whole article themselves, but the details. It's almost like a PR person, maybe a PR lawyer, goes by the name of Elkin. It's almost like someone by that name went and shared this story with everybody and got a bunch of news media outlets to cover this. It's almost like that. Just saying.
Even some international outlets are starting to pick up the story, with the biggest sort of caveat being, the girl that was at the center of this viral video is now missing, and it's bringing up a lot of details from last year.
Listen, I don't want to hear no more jabs at this girl's seductive choice of draping. Okay, I don't want to hear none of that, y'all, because if I gotta look at it, y'all gotta look at it. All right.
That are starting to make the people surrounding Sophie or people that want to bring her home a little bit uncomfortable. So I wanted to talk about a few things that are going on, and then also direct you to a few new places where you can get updates from, which are going to be providing the most comprehensive as well as the most accurate information about where Sophie is and what the direction is to get Sophie to come back home. So Sophie has been missing since July 12th, and she was supposed to be turned over by Michael to the court on July 7th. He had lost custody, and Sophie is now considered a missing person by the Department of Public Safety and in the state of Texas.
That's accurate.
So the family is kind of going back and forth because while it's been great, or not the family, I guess, I've seen Courtney. I've talked to Courtney a couple times this week. Courtney has been trying to contact different media outlets that are reporting things that are not accurate. I know that Lisa Sadowski, who is a family friend of Kelly's,
nobody cares,
has also been working to try to
nobody cares what she has to say.
Everything. Excuse me.
I'm sorry, I'm choking on my lies. My bad. Sorry.
To trying to get some of the misinformation
gotta lube the old
cleared up. So
up for the BS.
One of the biggest things and one of the biggest sort of rumors is that, and it was actually put out by the Daily Mail today, but Michael Long's dad, John Long, is basically telling people that Sophie is safe and that Sophie is fine. And as long as she's with Michael, she's fine. And that.
Let me ask you guys something. If law enforcement considers Sophie to be in immediate danger under the care of Michael, why aren't the screws being turned on John? Since he happens to, I mean, he obviously, based on this interview and what she's saying, he's got to know. How does he know that they're safe? Isn't he harboring a fugitive from justice? If he knows where they are and he's not telling them, if he knows they're safe, how does he know they're safe? Right? Why isn't John locked up right now? Wouldn't they lock him up and be like, hey, if you want your dad out of jail, find some legal loophole to be able to pull that, right? If you want your dad out of jail, well, you're going to have to bring Sophie back, okay? Nice, easy trade, because we got him on harboring and obstruction of justice or whatever the hell they could charge him with.
Michael's just waiting to bide his time, and that he filed this mandamus report,
right?
In the hopes of
which is what I said in the beginning. Which is what I said in the beginning. He files them the writ of mandamus, right? He files that, and what that does, at least what he thinks it does, is it buys him time. Again, people, in family law, the when you are in possession of the child that you're fighting for custody over, the game is stall, stall, stall. That's the game. That is the game. I promise you.
Documents, and that, you know, with the new documents that he files in court, then at some point that he will be able to make these filings, and he's just, you know, laying low until those filings are made. But the problem with that is that this is not a laying low situation. He is ordered by the court to return her, and he is considered an abductor. And Sophie is now considered. He's
considered an abductor by that
post.
So
you don't really get to lay low to do different, to put together different court records. Michael's dad is also trying to still play this narrative that Sophie is going to be going back home to a place that she's not safe, and that Michael had to run because there was no other option, because, you know, the judge made the wrong decision and everyone in court had the wrong.
Here's my take on that. Okay, what she's saying right now is Michael's excuse for all this is the judge, the case was handled poorly. And I've already heard two people, one of them being an actual attorney, but the other one being very well versed in family law, having worked in family law, not as an attorney, but working with attorneys. Now, both parties, both of these YouTubers say the same thing, that this case was handled very, very irresponsibly, that a lot of mistakes were made. Maybe not mistakes, who knows? But things were not handled the way they should have been handled by any of the judges that have been on this case. Now, I have not even read the writ of mandamus. I have not done that, but this gentleman did. Rakita Law did, and he went over it in detail, explaining everything and explaining what mistakes were made, how they were made. He went over text message threads from the first judge. And I mean, and already ethics were being violated. Proof. He showed proof of this. He showed receipts. He showed data. Okay. I highly recommend anybody that has any questions on this case, go back and watch Rakita Law's last night's video. Please do that. It's a little long. It's like 3 hours and 15 minutes long, but it is extremely informative. He is literally the only person that I feel actually knows what the hell they're talking about when it comes to this case so far. That is real. So, I mean, what else do you want? He's an attorney. And he basically shoots down. He doesn't name names. He doesn't call out other creators, not once, but he shoots down everything that she's saying. Everything she's been saying.
Decisions, and everyone has the wrong, everyone is out to get Michael. Every single person that's evaluated this, all the experts, the police, the doctors, the nurses.
I live in Texas and I have went through family court with my kids.
For the kids.
And Texas
everyone
family
has
court
it
is
wrong
rigged
but
and
Michael.
corrupt. Okay.
So
I'll take it.
This is a case where they are going to stick to the story.
You don't know what kind of case this
even
is,
if it's not stupid. True, and even if the court has found something to be completely opposite. So we are going to be doing something new here. We are hoping to start a new hashtag instead of
know what you're talking
with
about,
Sophie, which was the hashtag that was connected to
no, that's not what she
Mr. Michael, Lisa.
Now, here's the thing. I support this new hashtag. What I don't support is her wanting to replace the Stand with Sophie. See that sits ugly with me. That sits ugly with me. There's no reason why you can't have two hashtags. Stand with Sophie. Bring Sophie home. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with having both? That's all I'm saying. I want Sophie to come home. I want to know that she's safe. I want her to be okay. You know what I'm saying? Why not? Why can't you have Cherry K has a different hashtag every time she comments, dude? You can have infinite amount of hashtags. There's no rule against that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what does that say about her? She's sitting here saying Sophie's all that matters. Sophie is all that matters, guys. Oh, don't you listen. Real quick, let me handle something here. Road King, don't you put that evil on me. Don't you put that evil on me. You understand? Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Okay, Cherry K. I'm dyslexic when I talk. Oh my God.
Is hoping that we can start a new hashtag called hashtag Bring Sophie Home, which would be no longer affiliated to Michael and is really just more about what's happening. So if you are going to be talking,
why not just take the Stand with Sophie hashtag from Michael, right? First of all, prove that he's a danger, because that one little thing, that one little part that she keeps sharing, that Critical K keeps sharing, that one little part, the one part that I shared, is, as a matter of fact, that's not the whole story, guys. Again, watch Rakita Law's video from last night. That's not the entire story. Okay? Because these decisions were made by a court under an amicus attorney's opinion. And the amicus attorney doesn't have final say. They're only there to make an opinion. But like I said, watch Rakita Law's video from last night. That'll have all your answers. I promise you.
Talking about this on social media. If you have any reasons
What's up, Rob's
if you're tweeting about it, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Instagram, please use that hashtag instead of Stand with Sophie.
Oh, I'm at my trolling best right now. Home. Rob's Rules, you better believe that.
Then I want to let you guys know about a couple new pages that are up to date here that have also been created and are being managed by people connected to, I think Lisa is doing.
Sorry about the choppiness, guys. It's just
she's in the chat and she can correct me if I'm wrong.
Best I got.
But the Amber Alerts, no, it's been too many days at this point, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I know. I agree with her there. It has been too many days.
All right. So there is a brand new Instagram page called Bring Sophie Home. And it has a lot of details in here. So when you go to these pages, if you notice, it has her missing poster, and it says post number 1. So Sophie has been missing for 13 days. It has all the details of her abduction, and it has, Michael's photo here as well. And is 5 feet tall, 95 pounds. She's age 10. And
now notice how
hair and blue eyes.
Notice how she just flies through the description. If her main concern, that's what I want to know, guys. If Katie Joy's main concern is finding Sophie safely and getting the word out and getting people to keep their eye out for this missing and endangered little girl, right? And yes, no Amber Alert still. No Amber Alert still. If she really cares about this child and cares about this child being found, why is she flying through Sophie's description like she just can't wait to get to the drama and the dirt? Think about that. When this channel and any other channel that cares about finding a missing child, when we share information, when we share that description, we go over it. We go over it. We make sure you hear it. We don't just lazily, it's just 5 feet. Come on, man. Like,
in Seguin, Texas. They have articles that are being written by Fox News. I know when I spoke to Lisa, they did feel like the Fox article was probably the one that was the most well done. I will say the Daily Mail is doing a humongous disservice right now in their coverage. And I do find the Daily Mail and the Sun to be kind of creating this, in a way, kind of drama or circus around it.
What do you
where
expect?
It really
Every
just
single thing except Fox is a tabloid. Every single news source that covered this is not a credible news source. I've been saying that. Stupid. Like, I've been telling you this, KJ. I've been saying this over and over and over again. I don't know why.
And then it says Michael was in court on July 7th. Temporary orders were issued to take possession away from Michael and restrain him from contact with her. So when this happened, and no contact order was put in for Michael, but Sophie never got a chance. Michael fled with her, and the court deems him to be an immediate danger. Please share the missing poster as far and wide as you can. Bring Sophie home and save Sophie Long. Do the right thing, ML. There's also some court orders that were posted here. It says here are the court orders from July 7th. So it says that the court finds,
like, we already know all of this.
That Michael Long has engaged
why is she rehashing
in a pattern of behavior that's interfered
this?
with the reunification and counseling of
Like,
Sophie.
we already know, dude.
The court finds that based on the evidence, allowing the child to remain in Michael's custody would constitute immediate and substantial danger to her physical health, emotional, and psychological well-being.
Literally, the couch behind her has more personality. Like, literally.
The court finds it's in the best interest for her to be placed in temporary with her aunt. They want a no contact order of 90 days was ordered. Kelly was given sole custody, or it was ordered that her aunt was given sole custody of her until further notice by the court, and that Kelly was given sole custody of the boys. So he lost custody of the boys, and she has sole custody of them. He was also to pay a bunch of different fees. He was ordered to participate in counseling.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we know.
He is just, like, they have said that he is prohibited from communicating with Kelly and the kids for 90 days, disturbing the peace. He has no contact with the children.
Actually, crazy house saloon. Actually, she might now. She might be now, but all you got to do is go back to the live where I said KJ's making some real credible friends. I think that's what I titled it, because I went over Kaylee's live on this, and Katie told me while I was on panel with her on her channel, she told me that she had the court records before they were unsealed. While they were sealed, actually, because at the time they were sealed, she claimed that she had them, and I said, "Well, show them. If you have them, show them." Right? And she was like, "No, why should I do the work? You should do the work. I did the work. Why shouldn't you? Why should I?" And I was like, "You're full of it, man. You're full of it."
The suit, the Kelly or relatives, Michael Long shall make no attempt to contact the children. It's ordered that he shall enroll
and
participate in counseling, that he paid these fees. So, when all of this came down, rather than
she did
actually doing the right thing, he just took off.
What a moron.
So he lost everything. Another thing they wanted to remind people is that not only did he take off,
and you're caught, you have no credibility, you're stupid. Shut up, sit down.
So because he felt like he had to leave with Sophie, he also is abandoning his 3 other sons who are aged ranged. There's 3 little boys now whose dad is gone with their sister. Oh my God. Perez Hilton has picked it up. Jake.
Who cares that Perez Hilton picked it up?
Bellington, who is the boyfriend at the center of this, is also.
You know what I'm watching right now, guys? I'm watching a commercial. That's what I'm watching. I'm watching an infomercial for Kelly's law firm. An infomercial for you to donate money to Kelly's law firm. That's all I'm watching right now. And a bad one. It's not even good.
Speaking out. So in an article with Jake with the Daily Beast, Mr. Jake Bellington, who Michael accused of doing things which were later deemed to be false, and there was no.
Sorry, I'm just waiting for her to get to the decent stuff to where I can actually comment.
That were unsubstantiated. They say, this is what Michael had to say. To be honest with you, Michael has wasted more of my time than anyone else in my life. The guy's a piece of shit. I'm trying to piece my family back together. He's completely ripped my family apart. He's jealous of me. He can't handle the fact that I invest myself in the time of my kids' lives. He's a lazy sack of shit who can't hold a job. Supposedly he empowers rocks. He finds rocks or mystic sands, and he's got on his parents' property. He says that he still lives on the land that's owned by his parents. And he says he went to the depths of getting a child to say that she was essayed. You can't get any lower than that. And he's obviously on the run with her now. So,
okay. My opinion on that, okay, on Jake's statement. What does that tell you about him? You got to use your eyes. What does that tell you about him, people? Because let's face it, now, I'm not a big fan of Michael right now at all. I haven't been for months, okay? But I will say this about him. Back when all this was going on originally, and I was in contact with him, not even in private would he trash talk Jake. This is a fact, people. Not even in private, at least not to me, would Michael Long trash Jake Bellington. All he would do is he backed up his daughter. His daughter made claims. And now whether he made the thing up and he's just super manipulative and he just knew how to play it perfectly, I don't know. I'm not saying that that's not a possibility. What I'm saying is what I heard with my ears and saw with my eyes. Every time I FaceTime with this dude, every time he was on panel with me, this dude never ever trash talk Jake. He would actually say nice things about him. So he actually sounded shocked that these were the allegations. And then Courtney did a whole bunch of digging and found out a whole bunch of nasty stuff. And I've actually shared text messages, Instagram messages, DMs between Kelly and someone else where she is admitting to Jake being a cocaine user. I'm not saying it's a fact. She could have just been mad. Could have been just throwing mud at her boyfriend because they had allegedly a volatile relationship. So, I mean, who knows? But the fact of the matter is I saw these things and I showed these things. Now, real quick, before I continue this video, the point I was trying to make is this guy got one opportunity to speak to a news source, a tabloid news source, mind you, but a news source nevertheless, to publicly speak out, if you will. He takes this one opportunity to do that, and he spends it absolutely and totally aggressively. He spends it so aggressively. Just on attack, right? And yet, we still haven't heard anything from Kelly. Her daughter's missing. She's scared out of her mind. And they keep talking about a gag order. I don't want to hear about a gag order. Gag order is not even valid, I don't think. Now, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. But I would assume that a gag order, once she is awarded, well, she wasn't awarded. And let me take that back because she wasn't awarded custody. Her sister, the aunt, was awarded custody, at least temporary custody. So yeah, the gag order would probably still stand, but I still stand by my statements prior. They wouldn't stop me. The gag orders would not stop me. It's just that simple. I would be screaming at the top of my lungs, bring my daughter home. I would be begging. People in the chat
that say, I don't know what to believe. It's pretty simple. Michael fabricated this entire thing in a vendetta against
you have his no proof of that
in order to get her back.
He may have.
And to disrupt,
but you have no proof of that.
And to settle a score. So it's been deemed parental alienation.
Now, again, all I'm going to hear from the trolls are, the proof, Will, is the judge's order, the final order. But again, it's being appealed. It's being appealed. That's actually what opened the case. The documents, is him appealing it is what opened the documents, according to my source involved in the case in the court, according to that source. So, I mean, yeah, once he files a writ of mandamus, that opens up the documents. Now, a lot of them you won't be able to actually access online because it has sensitive information regarding children. But anybody, literally anybody with an ID can walk into that courthouse and ask for those records and get them. So they are not sealed.
So they have a phone number where they say that when Sophie was in the care of her mother, she was a straight A student involved in extracurricular activities, took part in her local church group and more. This changed when she was never returned by Michael after he went and supposed to be a weekend visitation. She's no longer attended public school, even though her father was court ordered to enroll her in one, and she has since fallen very far behind in her education, according to the court.
Yeah,
and
see,
those that are in
none
contact
of that
with Michael.
concerns
There's
me.
just one
None
reason
of
why
that
Michael
concerns
was,
me, at
this was
least
just
not
one
right now.
reason that Michael was not given custody.
What
So she was
concerns me is
supposed to
that
be in
she's
school and
safe.
she was not. Kelly is bound by a gag order. So it says, imagine being a mother whose child is missing and you can't speak, even though Kelly has maintained a dignified silence ever since her
Now pay
nightmare
attention to this.
began and supposed to be a weekend visitation. She's no longer attended
Pay
public
attention to the statement she reads right now.
school, even though her father was court. So she was supposed to be in school and she was not. Kelly is bound by a gag order. So it says, imagine being a mother whose child is missing and you can't speak, even though Kelly.
So she fails to say where the source is. She just says Kelly is bound by a gag order and starts reading the crap. But it's clearly a spokesperson for Kelly. It's clearly this PR person that she's paying. Kelly is paying a PR lawyer currently as we speak.
Has maintained a dignified silence ever since her nightmare began.
Now, let me ask you guys something real quick. If your child went missing, what would you spend money on if you had your choice between a PR lawyer, okay? PR lawyer here, okay? And your choice between a PR lawyer and literally anything that you can throw money at that is going to independently look for and locate your daughter, your missing child. Which one would you spend your money on? What takes precedence? What takes precedence there? Exactly. 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 Road King, stop it. I get where you're coming from, though. Even Rob's rule, even my man's on this. I love it. And Rob's rules, I know you, man. Like, I know, man, that dude, he'll do anything for his little girl. I know that for a fact. So I don't want to hear it. It's this ridiculous. A mother? Come on.
In August 2020, she has officially been under an incredibly strict gag order since January of 2021.
Oh, I've got stupidity in my chat. Let me address the stupidity real quick. Settle down. Kelly's husband ran and hid. Why? No one who is innocent would run. The mom is just as bad as the dad. Innocent of what, by the way? What's he running from? Innocent of what? That's not even a question. That's not even in question right now. Innocent of what? He's not being charged with anything. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? He's not being charged with nothing. So what's he running from? So right there, this is the kind of thing that I'm talking about. Every time somebody with some sort of pro Kelly view has the stupidest comments, they clearly show that they don't even know what they're talking about. There's nothing in that comment that pertains to anything logical that's being said. Yeah, I mean, she does. There is a gag order from what I understand. That is true. But that never stopped Michael. But for some reason, he's a villain, as far as that goes. Now, again, for all we know, he could just be the slyest, most manipulative piece of crap asshole. I mean, ever. He could be. We know that he made some real bad decisions, like some real irresponsible decisions while he was fighting for custody of Sophie. He made some stupid decisions. No doubt about that. But
this gag order is so complete that no one even knows the parameters of it. A tool of the court used to finally rein in Michael's recklessness is now preventing Kelly from shouting out to the whole world that her daughter is gone. Why doesn't she just break it? Kelly has only survived this ordeal by doing the right thing every step of the way.
See, I got to give Critical K some props here because she'd be selling this a lot better. It's the truth. Like if Critical K was reading this, she'd be saying it with such passion. She would be saying it and fluctuating her voice and making it so dramatic, you know, just to get the people all fired up in her chat. She could be spewing out ICP lyrics and doing it in that form, and everyone in her chat will be like, oh my God, Kay, purple hearts and crap. Kay, you're the best. We love you, Kay. Like they're the blindest, stupidest people I've ever seen in my life. But you got to use your eyes, people. I mean, that's all that is. But I'm telling you, Critical K would be selling this a lot better. I'll give her that.
With and putting one foot in front of the others. It was with determination to do it the right way as she climbed.
If I was on some sort of heavy hallucinogenic narcotic and I was imagining that I was talking to wallpaper, that's what I would imagine wallpaper sounded like when it would converse back to me. That's like straight up. I can't even it's really funny to me.
The mountain, even though she wanted to give up, and even though she's when she slipped, and even when she fell, Kelly was vindicated by the court last week by staying silent. Kelly finally disentangled her daughter from Michael's clutches. She can't stop now. But
listen to the.
Can you imagine what
Michael's
this must be like for the mother who wants to share her story, but Kelly and her family can't call up news outlets or answer reporters' questions. They can't post on Facebook or put up signs on all over town. All of you are doing this for Kelly and her family in their stead. You can't stop now. So I was told by Lisa that there could be
not a credible source, by the way,
statement coming out maybe eventually soon by Kelly's attorneys
by
about
Kelly's attorneys,
something.
not Kelly.
I don't know when.
Like something. I don't know.
And I knew his story didn't add up. Yeah.
People,
and then
said it before, say it again,
have,
keep saying it. The only people dumber than without a crystal ball, listeners and subscribers and supporters. Those are the only people dumber than her. I mean,
right. So there's been a lot of misinformation that's been put out on the various specific channels across the internet. There's been a lot of infighting this week. There's been a lot of people sharing court records. Michael had shared he filed a mandamus report with the court, trying to get the judge's ruling thrown out, trying to get the judge thrown out. And Michael was somehow going to believe that this would overturn Judge Snipes' court order, which is not true. When he filed this in court, what happened was he also filed all the sealed records related to the case. So the entire custody case, the records have been sealed since last year. Since the sealing and since the filing, the public has known nothing about what's been going on until Michael filed that, and until a couple channels realized that they could access literally every document in there. And suddenly people were going all over YouTube publishing these documents. So there were several channels over the last few weeks or the last week literally going through the entire documents and going through incredibly personal papers.
One of them being a lawyer
that were filed under seal and still protected by
not
court.
Filed under seal.
People put together one channel put together a Google Drive and was allowing people access to this. One channel went as far as to literally describe some really disgusting things that were in there and talking about birth dates, doxing the kids. There has become this subset of people that have gotten really vile in this whole situation, that are doxing anyone that tries to speak the truth, that are still on the pro-Michael trail. And it's really unfortunate because it's muddying the waters of the actual efforts to bring up and bring back Sophie. Nobody should be sharing any court records.
Muddying the waters.
No one should be sharing.
What at least the people that I've seen that have been sharing the court documents and going over them, those people, well, I've only seen one person actually do it. And I'm not saying other people didn't, but the one person that I saw do it is an attorney. And he basically explained that he cleared things up. He didn't muddy the waters. What he muddied the waters of is this narrative. What he muddied the waters of, what I've been muddying the waters of, is Elkin's narrative. Kelly's PR lawyer. So, I mean, that's it's just that simple, people. Use your eyes. That's all I'm saying.
Anything related to any of the physical exams or any of the details of what happened in court. The only thing that's been put out so far that's is what the court ordered was. And beyond that, it's not our right as the public to know any of the intimate details once the judge sealed the records.
Actually.
When the judge sealed those records, it's not our place to publish them, and any channels that are publishing them are getting strike. I think they're getting strikes from the family.
I will agree with her to a certain extent there. That's why I'm not sharing them, because I'm not qualified. If someone like me, who has no legal degree, no law degree, nothing of that nature, I'm not a court officer, I'm not experienced. I've only have my own personal experience in family court. So if someone like me does it, it's gossip. Okay. That's why I won't go over it. I agree. They are personal family issues that are taking place here. But if somebody goes over the court's decisions, goes over those documents and focuses on the court's decisions, who happens to be someone who is experienced in law, well, then there's nothing wrong with that at all. All you're doing is educating people. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I'm glad he did. Thank you so much, Using Ma. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And it's, we just really, 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 really should not be sharing that. So if you go to the Texas Department of Safety, you can find it under missing persons. I don't have the link up to her missing poster. So not only is there a Instagram page, but now there is also a Facebook page. And so they are updating everything here. So anyone who has information is urged to contact authorities. And again, it has some of the repeats of what you saw on the Instagram page. So they recommend a video that goes through different legal documents. They have the interview from the Daily Beast, which includes statements by Jake Bellington.
What is the point of any of this?
They have the abduction poster for Michael. They have the abduction poster for the abductor poster for Michael, the abduction poster for
thanks, Rob
her,
Rule.
and they're also, and then here's the direct link to the Department of Safety. Here, I'll share it now.
Yeah. Okay. We know all this. Like, she just wanted to go live and make a little money.
There's
she just
the
wanted
link
to go live
for
and
the Department of Safety, but it's an actual,
generate a little
obviously,
cheddar.
missing persons case. This is not a lie. This is 1,000 million % what's going on. And so we are in a situation where she is missing and has been missing for 16 days.
What? Come on, man. Like, are you sick of repeating yourself yet over and over again with the same lies and crap?
So the court has basically found that Michael was participating in what's called parental alienation and effectively coaching his daughter to say things that were not true.
People have said it before. I'll say it again. If Michael Long coached Sophie, so did Courtney. Her only source for information, according to her herself. Katie Joy's only source for information in this entire thing.
True, in an effort to have the custody disrupted and to make her not want to be around her mom. And so because of that, the court ordered that Sophie has to go through reunification counseling and that Michael has to pay for that. And we still don't know where he is. There hasn't been a lot of credible leads from my understanding. I have continually asked, you know, I spoke to Courtney Chalmers, his soon-to-be ex-wife, and that's the other problem, you guys, is, you know, if you read the Daily Mail and the Sun, they're continuing to say that Courtney Chalmers is still his wife. Well, technically, Courtney is his wife. Yeah. Courtney and Michael are going through a divorce. Courtney has filed a protective order and has a protective order against Michael for her and her son, Phoenix. Courtney and Michael are estranged. And there was also some misinformation that Courtney had asked me to clarify. She says that she was never determined to have been coaching Sophie. She claims that in the
I saw video of it.
New evaluation.
I saw video.
She was not
the only video that even remotely
by the court,
looked
according to Courtney. Those are Courtney's statements.
Sophie was being coached. Was
a grain of salt, but she
Courtney
said it was not her, it was Michael.
And asking and leading her with questions.
Courtney has been sharing updated photos of what as well on her Facebook page and her Facebook profile, so that people have updated photos of her. Courtney believes that her eyes are green, but mom says they're blue. The state says they're blue. They're blue.
I absolutely believe that, Louisiana.
And
girl.
yeah,
yes, I do.
So Michael's dad is
either they did or Courtney did, and now they're just writing it out.
Daily Mail, which is ridiculous. We should talk about this article. I'm really disappointed. I mean, I guess how should I be? What else should I expect from the Daily Mail? But
I mean, you know, I love how she says
grandfather.
We're talking about people. We're talking about somebody. We're talking about somebody who is about to be sued the second time by either a YouTuber or a reality TV show star. Like, you get, if there's any place lower than tabloid, it's Katie Joy. It's without a crystal ball. If there's any place lower, like if a bottom fish could burrow under the ocean, right? If a bottom feeder fish could burrow, that would be Katie Joy.
On all of their ads was had grandfather says that she's safe and she has no other choice but to take after. He was banned from contact and fears. And just goes on about how people don't know where Sophie is. She is safe with Michael. The reason she's not being given over to the court is to buy time for filing more court documents. We do not want her to go back.
I mean, yeah, that's exactly the motive behind Michael's actions right now.
Go back to an abusive environment.
I have no doubt in my mind about that.
The court has attacked Michael, but not addressed the drugs and the sexual assault. They did. And it says Michael claimed Sophie was essayed by her mother, blah, 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 and that was not found to be substantiated. So they did address these things. That's the thing. It is, I don't know what land that John Long is living in where he actually believes that the court did not address those claims, because they did. And it was found that it didn't happen. So that interview was with his dad.
I think
subscribing to my channel is 100% free. So you are chatting here and you can chat without being a member. So subscribers are free.
You have to subscribe to her to chat in that live, by the way. All the lives that she's been doing lately, you have to subscribe to her. Because she's so concerned about raising awareness for a missing child
going on. So that was mainly that.
Because she's so concerned about that she has set her chat to subscribers only because she's so concerned.
Nothing will prevent John from, no amount of court order or court filings will stop the court order that he has to turn over his daughter. No amount of, filing more documents is going to change anything. The court ruled, the court found everything was, this is how it is.
She has no idea what she's talking about.
He returned.
That's just plain not true, people. That's just plain not true. Because that's what the writ of mandamus, the purpose of it was. It was filed in the Fifth Court of Appeals. Appeals, people. The idea is to overturn the decision based on negligence from the court, based on the Kelly's attorney somehow dropping the ball, whatever the case may be. But somebody did something wrong, and he had grounds to file it. He filed it. That's what opened the court records to the public, by the way, was him doing that. That's what opened the court records. So the court documents are open.
So it's a mess, and the parents are being dishonest.
You're making a mess.
They are claiming that they don't have any idea where Michael is. There's been some suggestions that maybe some of the mom's friends.
Why aren't they under arrest then, Katie Joy? Why aren't they under arrest? If he's such a danger, Sophie's in direct danger with this man. Wouldn't they do anything to find her? Wouldn't they do anything to find her? If law enforcement is charged with the responsibility of locating Sophie and bringing her back home safe, then why haven't they issued a warrant for his arrest? Why haven't they issued an Amber Alert? Why haven't they placed Michael's parents under arrest? Because I agree with you. I think that they absolutely know where he is, or at least John does. I believe that. I don't know that for a fact, but I believe it.
Friends are helping. There has been a father's rights group that was posting about how they believe that Michael had been set up and the court was failing Sophie. And I just, you know, I find all of this to be so disturbing to me. Like, why? Why are we worrying about all of this?
Because you keep talking
John
about
Long is an access and aiding and abetting.
it.
I cannot wait
Asshole,
to hear
you
the
keep talking about it.
clink. Well, right now, it makes me really sad that the grandfather in this case is continuing to spread misinformation. And it also just makes me sad in general that the Daily Mail is
But it's
still
not
giving
misinformation. We don't know if it's misinformation. Like, she's up here calling John a liar. Now, do I think he knows where Michael is? Absolutely, I do. Personally, I do. That's just my opinion. I don't know that for a fact, but it is my opinion. Based on the way he's talking, by him saying, Sophie's safe, and he's making public statements saying that Sophie's safe, then great. But yeah, that makes me think that he knows where they are. But it doesn't mean that he knows where they are. Could just mean, well, Michael has assured me that she's safe. He put her on the phone. I spoke to her, but I don't know where they are. That could be the case too, for all we know. But what I'm saying is, if Michael was such a danger, A, they wouldn't have let him walk out of that courtroom. Not unless he turned Sophie over. There's no way. And B, law enforcement would be pressing the only people that know where Sophie is, who they believe are the only people that know where Sophie is. So, I mean, guys, we follow missing person cases on here all the time, dude. You got to use your eyes.
Sort of platform to claim that this is the truth. I think it would be extremely hard to a far-fetched conspiracy theory to believe that literally every part of the government, from the police to the unaffiliated government to the doctors and to lawyers, are all conspiring against Michael. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't hold weight. It's just,
is it far-fetched?
Really
yeah,
unfortunate.
But I have seen evidence personally.
Sophie has been gone for 16 days.
I have personally seen evidence that is enough to make you think that it's possible. That's as much as I'm going to say about it. I've personally seen evidence that Courtney showed me, not Michael. Courtney showed me that made sense. That make sense. That's all I'm saying. And according to Rakita Law's live last night, a lot of mistakes were made. A lot of mistakes were made. Now, did Michael make mistakes? Absolutely. Is Courtney making mistakes right now as well as Michael right now? Absolutely. I mean, what's with the PR? Why do you need a PR lawyer? What do you need a PR lawyer for? For what? What does that have to do with custody of your child? To me, that's a safety net. To me, that implies I got something to hide, and I'm going to make sure that somebody on a legal aspect, somebody is charged with the responsibility of telling me what I can and can't say so that I don't get myself in any trouble. That's what that tells me. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying that's the way it looks. Oh, I totally agree with you. Settle down. She's just as shady. Absolutely. Totally. She's pissed off. She's pissed off at Michael, and she's got a vendetta, man. It's a fact.
Nobody knows where she is. They think he could be going to Utah, Arizona, Colorado, California, or Mexico or Argentina. The entire state of Texas. Michael is paranoid.
I wonder if her biggest distraction is regretting wearing that on a live stream.
Yes, the conspiracy garbage
I wonder.
just feeds into their delusions. So there's still like, there's headlines like he scammed the GoFundMe and the GoFundMe was done under fraud. I still don't know.
Let me say the right
how
word.
that GoFundMe has not been
Don't
investigated
know how to talk
for fraud. I still don't understand how he hasn't been investigated by any authorities for fraud for the GoFundMe. The GoFundMe is not currently accepting.
I'll tell you why. Because they'd have to investigate Courtney, because Courtney had control over the GoFundMe. I know this for a fact.
Any at all donations, but it's still up. I want to know how this is all even capable of being going on. So
spit it out, man. Come on, dude. Please.
I think the biggest thing is that he didn't pass his psych exam. Sophie still has not been seen. Sophie hasn't been in school. Sophie is behind academically. The court says that she's in immediate danger being with her father. And
you keep
the
saying
Department
over and
of
over again.
Public Safety in Texas is looking for her. There are thousands of kids right now that have been abducted by family members, and there is so little resources for families that are in the situation like Kelly. Because of Kelly's gag order, she is unable to speak out and she's unable to say anything. And so hopefully soon
I don't want to hear that. I don't care if her lawyers make a statement. Like, why are your lawyers making a statement when your child is missing? Why are your lawyers speaking for you when your child is missing? I don't want to hear that about no dang gag order. Like, that's all it takes. Listen, judge, my daughter was missing. No judge is going to go, well, I don't care. You violated the gag order. The judge is going to go, well, if it was my kid, yeah, I don't blame you, man. I get it. I'm going to let that slide, but don't break the gag order again. Any decent judge would do that.
Like, lawyers can speak and put out something to try to clean this narrative up that somehow what Michael is doing is somehow legal, because it's not.
It is, or else he'd have a warrant out for his arrest.
The channels that are pushing the narrative that
is it okay?
Michael is just doing the right thing, and that
if he was
Michael
breaking
is
the law,
doing
there'd
that,
be a warrant out
and
for his arrest.
it just doesn't help at all. So let's do our best to continue to share her link to the Facebook page, share the Instagram page.
Here it comes.
Follow those pages for all the latest updates. If you see him, make sure that you call the Texas Department of Public Safety Missing Persons line. Make sure that if you have tips,
let me stop you there.
You contact them as well.
You contact your local police department. You call 911 and say, I have eyes or I have knowledge of the location of a person in the missing persons registry. That's what you do. I'm telling everyone here right now, anybody listening, what you do is you call 911. That is what you do. But again, if Katie Joy actually believed that Sophie was in any danger, why wouldn't she say that? Because personally, I don't believe personally that she is in direct danger with Michael, but she could be. And I'm not willing to take that chance. So if I find out, I'm calling 911. If I see them right in front of me, I'm calling 911. Not going and Googling the 800 number. The hell? You know what I'm saying? Call 911. I would encourage anybody else to do the same thing, just in case she might be in danger.
And the more publicity that goes on this, the better. Right now, the issue is that a lot of the publicity is focusing on the real salacious like details of what his false allegations are, and that does not help bringing her home, because the court already ordered that Kelly has full custody of the boys and that Sophie be turned over to her aunt.
No, the court ordered that the aunt has temporary custody. The court ordered that Sophie be in a neutral environment in the meantime and work and attend therapy, a reunification therapy program with her mother until she wants to go back, because the court doesn't see her going back as being good for anybody, since she is adamant about not wanting to be there. Sophie is the one that is vocal and refusing to go. We have already seen 2 videos, people, of Sophie screaming and refusing to go to her mother's house, to the environment that our own mother provides for her. We've already seen 2 videos of this.
And we should not be supporting any creators that are doxing, threatening, doxing people that, you know, have anything to do with.
Now, I'm glad she said that, because we don't ever hear Critical K say that, because Critical K doxes people. But the rumor has it she does it too. Now, what's funny about her saying that are the only people that I've seen that have been doxxed so far are people that even remotely might come off as Michael supporters. That's interesting. To me, that is very interesting.
Is supporting her bringing home. Is there a GoFundMe on the other way around to donate to mom and support her? Oh, yes. Or even Sophie's future mental health care. There is let me share you Kelly's legal fund, which we donated to last week.
Oh, here she comes.
But they have she has a legal fund set up.
Because that's important. Kelly's legal fund. Why does she, let me ask you something. Why does she need the legal fund set up? Because I keep hearing the argument that it goes from people, because they're making this up. Because if she's the spokesperson for this, because she's the only creator sharing this, by the way, she's the only creator pushing for people to donate to Kelly's law firm. But not once has she mentioned that it goes to a trust for Sophie's well-being. Not once. That's usually the argument when I get trolls in my chat or in my comment thread. But I haven't heard her say it once. I bet she will now that I mentioned it.
Is the website where you can donate to Kelly's legal fund. She has had to spend so much money in this fight, and this hasn't even like gone to full trial yet, so it's not over. It's only just like the final stages. So she still has attorneys that she's paying. She still has documents that she's filing. She has paid thousands upon thousands of dollars. It has affected every aspect of the mother's life because of all of the false allegations.
But she can afford a PR firm.
She was under protective custody for weeks. Michael lied that his kids were missing about a year ago. Sophie has been abducted now.
The stupidest thing that her PR lawyer could have done was email a bunch of us YouTube creators with some phony.
And Michael is supposed to be paying for all of her future.
That's because the PR firm doesn't care.
He has not complied with those orders. Yes, there's also a Facebook page called The Long Hoax that has up-to-date information that Lisa, who is Kelly's friend, is actively in daily. There are a bunch of creators, smaller creators that are also in there that are putting out information constantly. And I think at the end of the day, it's really just important to try to stay out of the fray, stay out of the drama, stay focused on finding Sophie, checking on
Why isn't your focus on
the
finding
Facebook
Sophie?
page, Bring Sophie Home, the Instagram page, and if you see her, to contact authorities.
Yeah. I mean, everything that's coming out of her mouth is false information, which has been proven, by the way, with documents and by a lawyer. So,
Bring
and
Sophie
he never
home.
even called her out.
It's a very
He probably doesn't even listen to her.
convoluted story.
Rakita Laws never called her out, as far as I know. And he probably doesn't even give a crap of anything that she's saying. And he stated facts. He went over data.
All right. So that's what I have for now. I will probably have some other updates coming soon on other topics. And I just wanted to make sure that you guys didn't have any questions.
Here come the plugs.
Exactly. Bring
I saw
Sophie
that.
home.
I saw that. Funny, Cherry K.
If you see people bashing the
There's a
mom,
channel.
just remind them, bring Sophie home. If you see people defending Michael, just remind them, bring Sophie home. It doesn't help anyone to aid and abet someone that's kidnapped a child and not properly taking care of a child for a year.
Yet she's extremely happy.
And damn it. Yeah, I don't know.
Everything indicates
Fridays
that she's
are always
happy with her dad.
in the summer very slow. People go out of town, and so I don't do a lot of
logical
uploads
thinking
on Fridays specifically for the.
I don't do a ton of logical thinking. I don't do a ton of saying anything that makes sense. I don't do a lot of truth telling. I don't do a ton of not lying out of my teeth. I don't do a ton of wearing anything appropriate on a live stream.
Reason that it's just like my lower day of the week. So I wasn't expecting a huge turnout, but yeah, share the posters, put it on if you have any sort of platform at all, share the posters. It doesn't say where she would be. They only have guesses. So at this point,
I promise you,
they don't know where she is.
I promise you that if law enforcement was actually searching, they would have found them. I promise you that.
They don't know if she's in Texas, if she's in Arizona, if they're already out of the country.
She's spewing and regurgitating.
There's this guy that's from a father's right movement that was literally defending Michael this week and acting like Michael was being railroaded and that all fathers are being railroaded. And, you know, the father's rights group that he's with is run by a man that had his own.
I don't know. I don't know anything about this father's rights group. I'll be honest with you. As soon as John sent me literature on that, I was like, yeah, I think we're done talking, dude. Like, I am not interested in that. I don't care about that. And I told him straight up, I was like, Michael made a fool out of me, man. And I don't want nothing to do with him. You know? I mean, I don't. I gave him a voice and he made a fool out of me. Period.
Own issues, let's just say. Jean says she'll share on TikTok. I appreciate that. Yes. Please don't get caught up in
She
arguing
looks
about
to
the
me
case.
like some sort of alien that like she has to get a shot every few hours, and if she doesn't, she's gonna shrivel up and like not adapt to the Earth's atmosphere. You know, she's she looks like she's due for one like in the next few minutes.
Don't get caught up in all the ticky-tack stuff. It's all bring Sophie home. So I'll show you guys the poster one more time so you guys can see that she is
Now, what? Listen to the description. You ready?
5
Listen
feet
to the
tall, 95
enthusiasm.
pounds, 10 years old, blonde hair, blue eyes, white. She was last seen
One more time.
up in all the ticky-tack
One more
stuff.
time.
It's all
Listen,
bring Sophie home.
Listen to the enthusiasm,
So
the
I'll show you
passion of
guys
finding Sophie. She
the
needs to
poster
find
one more
Sophie.
time. So
she's got to find Sophie. So it's a priority for her that Sophie is found safe. So listen to how she delivers the description of Sophie real quick.
you guys can
I mean, there's so much passion and love and you know, it's just
see that she is 5 feet tall, 95 pounds, 10 years old, blonde hair, blue eyes, white. She was last seen on the 12th of July. She
5 feet tall, 95 pounds.
Believed to be with her non-custodial parent, Michael, and may be en route to Arizona, Colorado, Utah, Mexico, or Argentina. I'm sorry, not California. Michael is possibly driving an off-white 2010 Ford Edge SUV or a gray van with blacked out windows, an NRA sticker, and a black rack.
That truck's not going to be hard to find. By the
Missing
way,
juvenile has a small burn mark on one of her arms. And Michael is obviously 6'4" and blonde hair, green eyes, and a complete and utter hot mess.
Wow. Great description there. Great description there.
Jennifer says, no matter what the circumstances, no parent should have to wonder where their child is or where they are safe. Exactly. Lisa says she hasn't been seen since Wednesday the 7th, but the NCIC was filed on the 12th, which is why it says that. Thank you for the clarification, Lisa. Lisa, did you want to join and add any information that I have? I can send you an invite if you'd like, and you can join the panel and share any details that you might have. I'm happy to have you on. If you have anything that you can share, given that it's from you.
Please come up here and make me look credible. Please. Please. I've been dropping your name like crazy since this started. Yeah, my camera keeps going out. I don't know why. Sucks.
You haven't seen it. Oh my gosh. There's a lot of information. I sent Lisa a link if she wanted to join, but I don't know. Okay. She says
there's not information.
I can't be support yours included. No problem. I just wanted to give you the opportunity that if you had and wanted to share anything that you could. Okay. So this case is very convoluted, but honestly, all that matters is that all the stuff that happened in the fall of last year didn't happen. It was all this scam for him to get money and fraud and all that stuff, trying to alienate
Where
Sophie
did the money go?
From her mother. And now
because according to Courtney,
her court has deemed him unfit, unstable, and dangerous to Sophie.
All right. It's enough of that. But where did the money go? According to her, I mean, it was a big fraud. So Michael's what, rich now? Dude, if I had 200 G's, you know what I could do with 200 G's? Come on, dude. Like, I mean, now, you guys remember the title of this, right? Flip-flopping dummy in lingerie. Share with you guys a little something here, because after this live was done, folks, Katie Joy made a post. You guys are going to love this. You guys are going to love this. All right. So this is a post directed at Courtney, a public post directed at Courtney by Katie Joy. You didn't give a shit that you put Sophie's life at risk when she was in the care of her mom. Now, mind you, just a couple of hours prior to her making this post, she was live. The very live that we just watched. Guys, keep that in mind as I read this, okay? You didn't give a shit that you put Sophie's life at risk when she was in the care of her mom and under police security to ensure she, her kids, or Jake were not murdered by your angry mob that came with guns to their hotel and courthouse. Now you're DMing me, asking me for my help after you put my life at risk. I'm furious, and I think I speak for most everyone that whose lives were threatened because of you and Michael, that it's time to drop the shit and own up to your part. You are not the victim. You don't care about anything but yourself right now. So prove me and everyone else wrong that you aren't selfish by removing the GoFundMe, removing the hurtful, slanderous accusations from the GoFundMe, and take down the slanderous video. And by the way, Katie Joy, you're welcome for me adding a little animation to the way you sound, because I mean, if you know, the only way that like you talking, like somebody would have fell asleep by now listening to you talk like this. So you're welcome. I'm getting your point out there. All right. I'm doing my best, Critical K. All right. You have the power to stop this narrative, Courtney, that is causing this abduction to still be considered reasonable. People believe all of this because of your lies. You and Michael lied. You put your stepdaughter through 5 unnecessary pelvic exams. It was you that refused to listen to the doctors, shopped for a doctor to co-sign onto your scheme. You might be out of the marriage now, but you are not clean. You are not the victim, and your lies are hurting this case. But she's your only source for information. Now, unless, because I mean, what would prompt that? I'd like some theories in the chat. Like, let's think about that, guys. Let that post sink in after what we just watched and what we've been watching on her channel. The lives that I've been streaming. Let's think about this. What prompted this? Why would she completely and totally destroy her own credibility? Because she's not destroying Courtney's credibility. I've already done that. I've been doing that. She's already, I mean, but so what she's doing by having backed her up this entire time and bragging about Courtney being her source for information and defending her, now all of a sudden, she flip-flops and destroys her own credibility, because I'm not going to share these screenshots. And now here's the thing is Courtney, I don't feel the need to get into the drama between her and Courtney. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to show the lack of credibility on KJ's part. That's what I'm here to do. I have the response from Courtney, but I'm not going to share it. I'm not going to get into a back and forth between her and Courtney here. That's not what I'm going to do. And as a matter of fact, if I'm being completely honest, there's a certain level of respect that I still have for Courtney. Yes, I said it. Yeah, I said it. Because she did very much care for those children from what I saw. Now, again, I am saying that if Michael coached those kids, Courtney did too. Because the only person that I actually saw evidence of that even remotely resembled someone coaching Sophie was video of Courtney with Sophie. I'm not saying that that was the case. I'm saying it could be picked apart that way by their haters, for sure. It absolutely could. But I don't believe that Sophie was coached. I honestly do not believe that. Do I think that Michael did some stupid, idiotic things that made me go, well, shit, you screwed up your own credibility, so now I can't do nothing for you, dude? But no, I do not believe that Sophie was coached. I do not believe that you could coach someone to be that terrified of going into the environment of their own mother. Of being in the environment that their own mother provides for them. I cannot see that. No, I'm not saying she wasn't coached. I'm saying I don't believe it. Okay? No, I don't see her being. Now, that's the thing, is that's what these people try to tell you. You got her and Critical K both saying, okay, she was coached and she's a brat. Whenever they cornered with one fact, they go the other way. It's a tennis match with the argument that they have. They don't stick to one argument. Either she was coached or she's a brat. Pick one. But you don't get to say both. You don't get to say that she was coached and on the other side of your mouth say that she is that willful of a brat. Sorry. That dog don't hunt. That dog don't hunt. Telling you, people, you got to use your eyes. So I am not going to go into the screenshots that I received. I'm not going to get into all that, but it's so funny to watch her, because the reason why I'm not going to share those screenshots, actually I could read you, but the reason why I don't want to share them is because I don't want to dox people. Because I think people that belong in these groups are using their real names, and it's a private group, so I don't want to do that. But I'll read some of the stuff out loud to you guys if you want, because it's pretty funny. So, and again, I'm not going to read Courtney's response. If you belong in that group, well, then you'll see it. And Courtney had every right to respond. I mean, look at this. KJ just totally turned on her. Like, it's crazy. She totally just turned on her. I almost feel bad for her. I mean, I don't. I said almost. I don't, because this was all Courtney's doing. This is all Courtney's doing. I think Courtney's the one that reported Sophie missing, if I'm being totally honest. I think she's the one that facilitated this entire fiasco. So One person comments, "It's ridiculous," with an eye rolling emoji. "She literally tried to interject herself into the drama. She has to be a victim." And then another person responds to that, "Always. Like, why make a post if she is DMing you?" Good point. Tell her in a DM, not here. She thinks Courtney is going to say, "Oh, okay, I'm going to pull the GoFundMe." Yeah, right. And then that other person, the first person, she responds back, "First of all, you can't even donate to the GoFundMe anymore. Fact. The reason Katie posted in here is because she needed the drama." Another fact. Now, another YouTuber will make an expose showing that Katie posted this. Hi. Katie's hope is likely that it'll drive attention back to her show. Maybe so. I mean, she wants hate views. She's going to get hate views. And trust me, I'm not. I'm one of a sea of channels that are exposing Katie Joy for what she is. And then here we go. Oh, Katie, journalist. Laughing emoji. "I actually do believe that Courtney is at fault for a lot of this, but I can't with you. But I just can't with you. You have to make this about yourself. You have to make yourself center. It's ridiculous. You are using this little girl to make money and clout." Journalist. Laughing emojis. Journalist was in quotes. And then another response says, it's like paparazzi's making money off celebrity photos, but worse." and then Katie Joy responds and goes, it says author, experienced parent, because these are all comments on her post. She writes, "Crime, lines, and lies. Can you please intervene?" So, I mean, that's the reaction she's getting. She's begging people to have her back. She's so delusional that she thinks that whatever she just did was somehow on the up and up. And she just had anybody that was supporting her totally turn on her because she just showed her true colors and what she did. She just showed her motives. I mean, guys, without a crystal ball is a clown. She's a clown, dude. I mean, it's hilarious. It's pathetic and sad and shitty that she would use a child's or the subject of a missing person to and exploit the subject. She's not spreading awareness of a subject because she hasn't spread any awareness at all. She hasn't looked up any other missing persons cases that may even resemble this one and give a comparison to where you would, man, you need to take this seriously. She hasn't done that. It's been what? She said 15 days? I'm not counting because there's no Amber Alert. If I'm being honest, I'm not counting because I don't believe that she's in any immediate danger. She could be, but I don't believe that she is. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. She could be, but I don't believe it. And I am definitely not in support of what Michael is doing. Make no mistake about that. This is not the way to go. This is another example of him failing Sophie in order to bring her justice. Because I'll tell you what, dude, I don't think that there's any statute of limitations on trafficking, which is what he's accusing Jake Bellington of doing, or what Sophie is accusing Jake Bellington of doing. I should correct myself. It's not Michael that's doing it. It's Sophie. So I don't think that there's I would imagine there's not a statute of limitations on it. I don't know the law. But, and if that's the case, then take your time. Do it right, dude. Michael, I'm talking to you directly right now, man. Do it right. Like, this is the second time you made a decision that lost your support. It's not, Michael, let me explain it to you like this, dude. It's not that, at least me, I can only speak for me. I don't care that you cheated on your wife. If you did, or whatever, or she left you, or whatever. I don't care. That's not my concern. Whether I have opinions on that particular issue is irrelevant. What I'm saying is, by doing what you did and making the decisions that you made a bad decision and you lost credibility. You lost credibility with a lot of people. Most of your supporters are women. How do you think they're going to take that? How do you think they're going to look at you? And then you go and do something like this, and you're not talking to anybody. A gag order never stopped you before, man. Why aren't you talking now? Make a video, dude. Start a BS YouTube channel just out of nowhere and make a quick video showing Sophie, and reassure everybody here who supported you before and is currently still supporting Sophie. Make a video. Put it out there, dude. Put it out there. Let everybody who cares about Sophie know that she's safe. Reassure us what your plan is. Reassure us why what you're doing is actually legal, if it is. Speak up. Because I think you owe us all that. I think that's the least you can do, dude. You know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to do something a little wild. Something I told myself I wasn't going to do no more. I'm going to do something a little crazy. Because I think a lot of people, there's a few people in here who probably got something to say. The link is dropped. The link to join me here on panel is in the chat. Man, I know there's a lot of opinionated people in here, man. I know there is. I'd love to see somebody come up here and tell me what they think. Doesn't matter what your opinion is. We'll discuss it. Because seriously, I know that there's quite a few people in here with an opinion. And if you got something to say to Michael, now's your opportunity to say it. No, shockingly enough, Erica, nobody has joined. Yeah, I actually thought about it. It's funny. I actually thought about inviting her on this one just to have somebody who's experienced in in Katie Joy. I just forgot to. But now that you're saying that she's at work, then Yeah, she probably wouldn't have been able to make it anyway. So, but I just forgot, but I actually intended on sending her a link. And yeah, if Michael, if you're listening, call in, man. I mean, yeah, it's weird, Punky Banana. It's weird with the phone sometimes. Well, and I'm hoping, Louisiana girl, I'm hoping to get somebody who's never been on here before to come up. That's what I'm hoping for. I mean, I think it's terrible that we're all left hanging here, and all we're asking for is reassurance that Sophie's safe, not just John's word in the Daily Mail. We all want that reassurance. I mean, and that's the thing, is I'm not even calling anybody out. That's not what I'm doing. You know, this isn't the Critical K channel. I'm not like, come on, peasants. That's not what I'm doing right now. What I'm saying is, if you have a difference of opinion, that's welcome, as long as you're respectful, and we can discuss it. Sure. But let's see. Using Ma says, Will, in your opinion, where do you think they might be? Under their noses? Probably. I mean, one thing that I do know, one of my mods did a little digging, and one thing that I do know is that the notary public that notarized the submission of the writ of mandamus is located in Richmond, Virginia. So, but you can file these things online. I don't know if, now one argument is you have to show ID, but because of COVID, there are ways around that. And you can, I'm assuming that there's a way that you can just put your ID in the, now obviously he's using technology and sharing his ID. You know what I'm saying? If he's doing this, so he's leaving a trail behind him, whether you like it or not, whether it's a digital footprint or if it's in person. But one way or the other, he got that writ of mandamus filed, and the notary is located in Richmond, Virginia. So, okay, so it does say that it was done online. I didn't see that part. So, I mean, right there. But even still, if he left a digital footprint, so he's obviously using the internet to do that, and that can be pinged. His location can be pinged. Probably did it with his phone. He doesn't strike me as a laptop having kind of guy, but he probably did it with his phone. And if there was an arrest warrant And if law enforcement thought that Sophie was in immediate danger, well, then they would have pinged his location and they would have located him. I mean, maybe Sabrina. I mean, that's the thing. But what I'm saying is I'm not seeing any evidence that law enforcement is actively searching. There's just a missing person thing, and they're relying on someone. If they see something, okay, let us know, and then we'll send somebody out there. That's the vibe I'm getting, you know. But it means nothing if uh if he filed this thing online, because Richmond, Virginia is just where the notary is. So who cares about Richmond, Virginia, if that's the case? Like, that's the thing is, again, Michael, if you're listening, there's really credible YouTubers out there right now that are going over your case, and they're saying that there's a lot of mistakes being made by the court. So you're being heard. You know what I mean? Like, you're being heard right now. People hear you. But you made us all care about Sophie. You facilitated a virtual relationship between us and Sophie. You did that. The least you could do is speak up and ensure her safety with all of us. This isn't about my opinion of you. This isn't about any of that. Good night, Amber Magic. Thanks for joining. I mean, I don't expect him to, Dizzy Lizzie. I really don't expect him to. I wish he would, but I don't expect him to. No. Yeah, I actually expect Michael Long to join this panel before Katie Joy would. I absolutely. I don't see her. I mean, she's got her head in between her legs like there's a tornado coming right now. Because she's getting all kinds of backlash. I guarantee you. And she does it to herself, man. I am too, Crystal. I am too. That's what's making him look so bad. Honestly, that's exactly what's making him look so bad. You know? I don't know. Is she a drinker? I mean, I'm not judging her. Y'all know I like to drink. But I mean, I don't do it on live streams anymore unless it's a Patreon stream. But exactly. Exactly. He is not. He is not, Alice. I agree with you there. But yeah, him being this quiet is what's making him look bad, you know? Like the best thing that happened to his whole case here, as far as public opinion goes, the best thing that happened to him was him filing that writ of mandamus and that unsealing the court records. Once the court records were unsealed and people who are credible were able to look at it, people with law degrees look at it. Oh, I didn't see the emoji. Okay, using my eyes. All right, I love it. Yeah, that's a game changer. That's a game changer in his favor. People who are completely and totally unbiased, have no particular opinion of him at all, but know how the court system is supposed to work, and have now finally see details of how this case has been handled by the courts, and saying, man, all kinds of unethical and irresponsible things have taken place. All kinds of things. 3.25 hours. Rakita Law went over this stuff in detail and explained. But all right, guys, doesn't look like anybody's going to come up. But all of you guys showing support, I thank you guys so much. I hope you found this entertaining. I hope you enjoyed it. Guys, I'm telling you, all you got to do is think. You got to use your eyes. That's all you got to do. Very, very simple. Apply real critical thinking. So, having said that, I love you, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.